appreciate everyone being here. Beautiful Lord's Day. I appreciate the opportunity that you've given me this morning. Brother Steve said that I might have a message that would warm you up. Well, I don't know about that, but I may have a shirt that will brighten you up. I believe in doing my part, so maybe I can brighten your day just a little with the clothes that I'm wearing. Someone asked who picked it out. Come on. That's not a secret. Come on. You know, I thought I could for years, but I cannot dress myself anymore. I have to have a pair of shoes for every occasion. I own more shoes than I've ever owned in my life. I own more belts than I've ever owned in my life. I didn't realize getting dressed was so complicated, to be honest with you. But I'm figuring it out because I'm listening, and that's how I figured it out. I'm listening. Remember our Bible study tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. We're on the book of James. So be here and be a part of that with us. We always have good discussions, and Brother Ralph's going to lead us in our class tomorrow night. So we look forward to that. Have you ever thought about the influence you have? Have you ever thought about the messages you're sending, that you're giving your community, that you're giving your family, friends, co-workers? Have you ever thought about the influence that you're giving out? Have you ever thought about the influence you have as a Christian? Have you ever thought about how powerful of influence you can have as a child of God? As Christians, you and I need to be concerned about the influence that we're having on others. Our influence goes a long way in converting people. Our influence goes a long way in encouraging people outside the congregation, outside the church, but also with one another here. It goes a long way. And of course, our influence can be good or it can be bad. But we're influencing someone. Believe that. Someone is watching you. Someone is watching the things that you're involved in. Someone is watching your behavior. Someone is watching the things you're promoting. Someone is watching the language you're using. Someone is watching you. And that's the truth. Someone's watching. It could be a family member, it could be a neighbor, it could be a co-worker, it could be someone that we don't even think knows we're alive. But they're watching you. They're thinking, I either want to be like her or him, or I don't want to be like her or him. So the question this morning is, what are they seeing from us? What are they hearing from us? Are we encouraging them to live a Christian life, or maybe we're discouraging them from living a Christian life? The Lord's work consists of influencing people, but influencing them in the direction of God. Keeping God and His ways first and foremost in our life. Keeping God and His ways is essential not only to my growth, but also to the growth of others, the spiritual growth we're talking about. It's essential in people listening and learning and seeing what we're doing, and then to continue to grow and develop as a child of God. You know, even while in prison, Paul realized how important his influence was on others. Even while he's in prison, Paul continued to influence people for Jesus Christ, for the cause of Jesus Christ. He continued to have good influence on people, even while in prison. Colossians chapter 1, verse 23, Paul encourages Christians here, and not only Christians here, but us today. He encourages us to continue in the faith. Grounded and settled, and be not moved, he says. Be not moved away from the hope of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Good influence here. Good advice. The influence that we need to have and the influence that we need to receive, pass on to others. Encourage each other. As Paul did here in Colossians chapter 1 and verse 23. Encourage each other. Edify and build up one another. Be strong. Be faithful. Be grounded. Be settled. Stay clear of the gloom and doom that we hear. Stay clear of the gloom and doom that we hear about the world and situations in the world. Stay clear of the gloom and doom that we often get caught up in. And we spread it too. It can spread like wildfire. Gloom and doom. Let's be a positive influence. Let's be positive about the church. Let's be a positive about Northside. Let's be positive about living a Christian life. Be positive. Give that positive influence to those that are around us. Be positive about bringing the lost to Jesus. Jesus came to seek and save the lost. Luke chapter 19 and verse 10. That was his mission. And that's the same mission we're on today. To seek and save the lost. Again, the question is, what kind of influence are we having on people? What are we showing them by the life that we live? What are we showing them by the activities we're involved in? Remember, someone's watching you. Someone's watching. Are they hearing or seeing bad language? Are they seeing or hearing us tell those little white lies that we think are not that big a deal? Are they seeing and watching us promote worldly things instead of promoting Jesus Christ, His church, His cause? What are they hearing and seeing from us? What are they hearing and seeing from the child of God? It'd be me and you. What are they hearing and seeing? You know, we may not realize how much power we have. How much power that influence has. Influence is so powerful that it continues even after we're gone. Influence is so powerful that it lives on after you and I have passed on. Cain killed his brother Abel. Yet his influence lived on in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 4. Speaking of Abel here, the text is being dead, yet he speaks. How does he speak? Influence. Our influence continues even after we're gone. How many of us are still influenced by people that are no longer with us? They have passed on. Me too. Me too. How many of us can remember things that they said? Things that they taught us? Things they were involved in? The life they lived? Whether it be parents or brothers or sisters or co-workers or neighbors, friends, whoever it may be. Someone had an influence on us, I would dare say. Someone had an influence, and that someone is speaking to us, even from the grave. Someone taught me how to help others. Someone taught me to go in the right direction. Now, I've strayed away. I've stumbled. We all have, I think. But someone taught me, and I remember what they said. Someone set good examples for me in my life. Someone encouraged me, helped me to learn to obey the gospel of Jesus Christ and live faithful. Many of us are here today because someone influenced us in the right direction. Think of it this way. With your influence, you're building a bridge. A bridge that people will walk across. Again, family, friends, neighbors, co-workers. Someone is watching you and someone is walking in your footsteps. They'll walk across that bridge that you're building. They'll follow you. across this bridge. Maybe for generations to come, someone will walk across the bridge that you're building. Someone is following you. Someone is listening to you. Someone is learning from you. But what are they learning? Are they learning how to live a Christian life? Let's be sure we're building good, safe bridges. Christ-like bridges that they can follow in for generations to come. No doubt this is a big world that we live in. And we may think sometimes, well, I don't mean anything to this world. What I do don't matter. I'm just a dot in this world, Doesn't matter what I do. Doesn't matter how I live. Doesn't matter how I act. But it does. It matters not only to your soul, but it matters to those that are following and watching you. Several years ago, there was a saying, it was very popular. The saying was, what would Jesus do? Don't know if it's still around, don't hear much of it anymore. WWJD. What would Jesus do? There were bracelets, necklaces, bumper stickers, t-shirts. It was popular. What would Jesus do? But this world has become so confused. This world has become so chaotic that it doesn't matter what Jesus would do anymore, it seems. It just seems like it matters what the world wants to do. So what influences our life more? What Jesus would do or what the world would do? Now, we will all say what Jesus would do, of course, because that's the right answer. But is it the true answer? Am I doing what Jesus would do? Am I in situations? Is my language the language Jesus would use? What would Jesus do? Many are influenced, whether we admit it or not, by things that we see and hear. I think that's a fact. We're influenced by Facebook, maybe, or social media of any kind. We're influenced by what we see on television. We see those commercials, maybe it's advertising a certain food. I just gotta have that right now. I gotta go in there and fix that, or I gotta go to the store and buy it. We're influenced. We're influenced as we drive down the road and we see these billboards advertising something. Well, I wanna go there. I wanna try that. Influence is everywhere. Everywhere we go, it's there. We are making a statement today, every day. We're making a statement about what's important. Jesus or the world. And we're influencing others with a statement that we're making. We're letting others know where we stand. With Jesus or with the world. And we're on one side or the other. We can't have two masters. We can't hold on the world with one hand, hold on to Jesus with the other. We're making a decision one way or another. We can't be lukewarm, because how does God feel about being lukewarm? Makes him sick. Revelation 3:16. We're making a decision one way or another. Jesus or the world. We can't compromise. Many want to compromise. Many don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, don't want to be labeled old fuddy-duddy. Don't want to hurt anybody's feelings about things, so we just try to hold on to the world with one hand, Jesus with the other. Now we might compromise on minor little things that are not scriptural. As far as I'm talking about meeting on Wednesday night, what time do we meet? We compromise on that. We work out something. Might compromise on when to have a fellowship meal. Things like that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about Bible things. We can't compromise on that. The world will have us change our thinking when it comes to some of the scriptures. The world would have us compromise the truth. The world would say it's okay to do certain things. The law of our land might say it's okay to do certain things. If the Bible says those things are sinful, we can't compromise on this. We can't compromise our faith. We can't compromise our Christianity. We can't compromise our souls and put them in jeopardy. Sometimes it's a slow progress, a slow process, a slow process. You know, it doesn't happen all at once. Compromising sometimes takes a little time. The world says there's plenty of room for both Jesus and the world. But God says you can't serve those two masters again. It takes a little time sometimes for things to just gradually pull us away from Jesus. Before you even know it, it's just a gradual process, and Jesus is all sitting on the back burner back here. He's all of a sudden been put on the back burner. And we've seen it all happen. We've seen this happen. In Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 through 16, Jesus tells us he wants us to be two things. He wants us to be salt. Notice in verse 13, he talks about salt and the flavor. If you want to turn to Matthew 5. The flavor of salt is strong. The flavor of salt is powerful. The flavor of salt influences the taste of the food that we eat. So we know about salt. We use it. It's a common everyday thing to put salt on your food because it influences taste. Now, too much salt can influence it in a bad way. But Jesus goes on to say in verse 13, if salt loses its flavor, what good is it? Example here is it's not a positive influence any longer. It's lost its power. It's lost its flavor. If a child of God loses his saltiness, his or her flavor, what good are they? What good are they? What influence will they have for Jesus Christ, for the church? Genesis chapter 12, verse 2, God told Abraham, I will bless you and I will bless others. We talked about that this morning in class. God uses people to bless people. You and I can be used to bless people. You and I are blessed, no doubt about that. And in turn, we can turn around, be a positive influence, and bless others. Bless the world around us. Starting with our community. Christianity is designed to be a positive influence. Christianity is designed to spread that influence through the life that we're living. As God's people, we make a difference. As God's people, we can make a difference in someone's life that will benefit them for eternity. If, and there's that little word we use quite often, if we keep our flavor. If we continue to grow, if we continue to demonstrate a positive influence. Now sadly, no matter how strong we think we are, no matter how strong we think we are, we can be influenced away from God. I know several Christians that were so strong, so devoted, so involved, but they're not here today. something influenced them away. Something caused them to lose their flavor. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, do not be deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. One translation says bad company. Bad company. The Bible challenges us to consider the company we keep. As mentioned in class this morning, we love lost souls. That's our mission, to bring them to Jesus. But we don't love the things they may be doing. We don't love the life they may be living. We need to encourage them. The bad company can spoil us. One bad apple spoils the whole barrel. So we don't need to let one bad apple, one bad influence, one bad company influence us away from what we believe and stand for. Second thing Jesus wants us to be in Matthew chapter 5. We get in verse 14, is light. We are the light of the world, he says. We are the light in this community. We are a light that leads others to Jesus. Light overcomes darkness. Light can cause growth. Light is a positive influence. In John 8 verse 12, Jesus says, I am the light of the world. Now here in Matthew chapter 5, he tells his disciples, we are the light of the world. We as Christians, we are the light leading the way to Jesus. Light is a beacon. Light is a lighthouse in a dark world. Our light shines brightly through positive influence. We're not told to hide our light under a basket. We're told to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Matthew 5, verse 14 and 15. Let it shine for the glory of God. Let it shine. We don't want to lock it away in this building. We don't want to lock it away in our homes. We don't want to put it on a shelf somewhere. Just pick it up on Sunday morning or whenever we're meeting. We want to let that light shine. We want this community to see cars in the parking lot and wonder, what's going on there? What are they doing on a Monday night? What are they doing on a Saturday? What are they doing there? We want them to wonder. We want them to come in here and find out what we're doing. We want to let that light shine every minute, every hour, every day. And then finally, this morning, we asked the question, how salty are you? Is your influence for good or bad? How bright is your light? We're not talking about the shirt I'm wearing. How bright is your light? How bright? Your light is directing someone down a path. Again, remember, someone's watching, listening, learning, walking behind you. And their life may be filled with problems. Their life may be filled with confusion and chaos. Their life may be filled with doubts. They may be thinking, well, nobody cares about me. They may be thinking, where's God? God doesn't care about me. Where is he when I need him? Your influence can lead them in the right direction. Your influence can lead them to where God is and what God would have them do. So if you're here with us this morning and you've lost your flavor, let us help you get it back. Let us help you in that regard. If you've lost your light or your light has grown dim, let us help you shine brightly again. for the cause of Jesus Christ. Motel 6 used to say, we'll leave the light on for you. God's leaving the light on. We're here to help you, encourage you. We're here to do what we can to help you get that light bright. The lesson's yours. If you're anyway step to the Lord's invitation, won't you come together and stand and sing?